What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It's I, James, RedemptionAgency.com, urban-picker.com. 24 years selling full-time on eBay, and we are Monday morning. And tomorrow's a holiday, so no post office tomorrow. That would be Tuesday. I don't know what it is. I don't pay attention to holidays, so tomorrow is Veterans Day. Gotcha. All right, so I do have a topic I want to talk about. Then, of course, later in this video, we're going to run over Saturday and Sunday's numbers. And then I'm going to talk about what I have done so far on the promoted percentages. And, yeah, the changes I have made. So, topic. I was scrolling YouTube this morning for ideas for a topic, and I keep coming across some new videos within the last 24 hours about how the fast food industry is kind of dictating the way the economy is. Basically, it's implying that because people are slowing down with eating out, that the economy is going down. But I wanted to play devil's advocate here. Being a person in a family that eats out usually at least once a day, weekends twice a day. So, and we're trying to slowly cut. Within the past, I would say month, we've started cutting that back. At least one day where we're just eating something here. Like today, I'll probably just eat a can of SpaghettiOs and meatballs or a can of Steak and Shake chili, and I'll be done for the day. After my little biscuit from the gas station this morning. So this is coming from somebody who has experience with eating out and a family that eats out, a family of 4 that eats out at least once a day, average. So here's my take on it, why I dislike eating out and why we're starting to cut back. First off, the service, right? When you go to these places, normally it's just people who just seem miserable and don't want to be there, first and foremost, especially a lot of these faster food places. Second, the pricing. Now I'm saying all this just so if we can take something from this for what we do, if we think about it and kind of cross-reference, right? So 2 is pricing and portions. So shrinkflation has been real. Every once in a while, like I'll get a craving for a Big Mac. The last time I got one's probably been a few months now, and I probably won't ever get one again because when I got the Big Mac and you look at the patty's like this big. The bun's like this big. I could have ordered a double cheeseburger with a side of Big Mac sauce for cheaper and got a better experience. So quality, the quantity and the pricing is just ridiculous when you get anything out. Thankfully, we're in a position where we don't have to, monetarily, we don't have to worry about that kind of thing. We get what we want, but it's at the point now where we're just like, it ain't worth it anymore. Between the experience and the lack of food you get for the price, and here's going to be a statistic that's going to blow your mind, maybe. Again, this is coming from a family of 4 that eats out at least on average once a day. There's something usually wrong with the order 75 to 80% of the time. Literally. So, and Jan's the one that will call up and say, hey, this is messed up. Like me, if I get something wrong, I usually just throw it away. I'm like, I'm not going to eat it. Like if I have to pick shredded lettuce off of something that's a pain in the butt, I'm just throwing it away. I'm not dealing with it. And I'll eat something here. So something being wrong 75 to 80% of the time, and Jan will call up and tell them, and then she'll get a refund on it, and or they'll give us a credit at the place. Me personally, I just throw it away and never go back. That's just the way I do things. And there's been a lot of places that have shut down. The worst place that was around here was this Jack in the Box in Bridgeton. I mean, literally This was a place where you would go and literally 99.9% of the time you dealt with just angry people, messed up orders, not even counting the value of stuff anymore. But just those two alone was 99% of the time at this place, and they have since closed. So it's not just me who's experiencing stuff like that, right? So for me, it's hard to say the food industry when it comes to restaurants and fast food is a dictation of the economy. Not saying there's nothing wrong with the economy, but using that as a measuring stick, the numbers are off because there's so much more detail that's included in there. And being that this just came to my head, that's the way it is with a lot of things when it comes to polls, perceptions, media, government. They only take what will work in their benefit of their story. They never take into account all the details that also may be inflating that number or lowering that number, whatever the scenario is. So they never take in all these minute, and customer service and quality and stuff is really not minute, and don't even get me started on the number of times I've been sick off fast food where it felt like food poisoning. We won't even go there. That was the last straw at the Bridgeton Jack in the Box. Why I said, we're done here. Do never go to this again, because I had ordered some tacos. Who doesn't love Jack in the Box tacos? And I literally got sick the last time I had the tacos from that location. So they never take into effect all these things. So when you're running your business, never just think one way. Like I said before, you're thinking small if you think your sales are low because it's Halloween and people are out and about, right? Somebody literally commented that on one of my videos. I'm like, that makes no sense, because that's such small-minded thinking. And it's only one aspect of the entire world, right? I mean, eBay's global. It's a worldwide 24-hour sales site. So Americans, a small percentage of Americans going out to trick or treat would not affect somebody's sales in their store. It just wouldn't happen. That's too minute of a too narrow of a reasoning. You got to take everything else into account also. So when you're running your business and something's wrong, don't just take one thing as this is the problem. Think about all the other things that come along with it also. So that's what I wanted to share, just kind of bringing the two together, and showing that most people, most organizations, most whatever on this planet only take what works for their story. They don't take all the other stuff into account, which can add up to greatly affect, maybe even more so than the one they're using, right? Is it the economy that's making more of a decline in the food industry? Or is it the fact that you get the quality, the pricing, and the crappy service? Do those three together trump that? So numbers are always skewed in favor of the writer or the producer or whatever's creating the content. So always remember that. There's always more to the story. All right. Numbers, and then we'll get into the percentages, and we'll do the percentages second, because then you'll see the numbers, and then kind of you can compare the two as to why or why not. So on Saturday, I got nothing listed. Jan was off this weekend, so we did stuff around the house and what have you. So Saturday, I got nothing listed. I sold 62 items on the media store, 15 items on the clothing store, bringing the daily total to 77 items sold, with a run sold of 77 for the new page, the new week. $683 in the media store Saturday, $270 in the clothing store, bringing the daily total to $953. And then Sunday I listed 180 items, so we got a run total of 180 for the week. Sold 60 items in the media store, 12 items in the clothing store, bringing the total to 72 items sold, with a run total this week of 149 items sold. $703 in the media store yesterday, only $211 in the clothing store, bringing the daily total to $914. The week run total to $1,867 for the week. Now, one thing I've noticed, as I've been talking about, the media or the clothing store just seems like it's in that repair phase that my old account was in for several years. It's mirroring a lot of the things. And I actually had a problem with the my media account yesterday. So I'll talk about that too. But so I went to look because I didn't remember, like, what did I change the promotions to? Because as you know, with the change coming up in January, I am working my percentages back down, but trying to do it in a way where it's not going to affect the sales in a great way, trying to find a new balancing act to get that percentage down. So the two changes, I went into my clothing store and go, what did I set it at? I was at 11. Did I lower it? Because I didn't remember lowering it, but I did. And now that I'm saying that, I do remember. But yesterday, for some reason, I forgot that I lowered it. So I had lowered it down to 9%. And could that be the reasoning that I'm having all these days that are pretty much, we're just going to call the average 250 a day last week. And then so the average would be about 250 already for this week. So is lowering that to 9% is what's causing 100% of the reasoning why I'm only averaging $250 a day. Again, you got to take other things into consideration, because with this account, there's clearly other things in consideration. How that affects it, I am not 100% sure. But again, it makes me want to move the stuff at least part-time back to my other store. But I haven't yet. I'm trying to hold out, but I don't know what to do. And then I lowered my low dollar stuff again. So my media store was at 13%. Then I lowered everything above $6, I lowered to 11%. Everything below $6, I had moved down to 7%. And then I guess it's been about 4 or 5 days now, I took the low dollar stuff under $6 from 7% down to 5%. And that does not seem to have changed much. As I said, I've been kind of looking at my low dollar stuff, and a lot of my organic sales are my low dollar items. So I may be able to get rid of promoting 36,000 items in my store. But like I said, I'm slowly going backwards to try to make sure it doesn't impact it too much. And I know I'm probably going to get kind of a false reading a little bit since we're in fourth quarter right now. But in the past, my January and February sales are usually my better months out of first quarter is usually better than fourth quarter for me. And February used to always be my biggest month when it comes to sales. And it's almost kind of like in between, Christmas and tax returns. So February was always kind of my biggest month. Maybe that's where people feel the most secure with spending, and or just still in that routine of, Christmas / money's coming in soon type of feel. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing there, spitballing, but. I think I remember like last year it wasn't, but it's really hard. Like I said, it's really hard to get a good read on your business when the platform you're selling on, that you're running your business on, is not working 100%, and there's extra factors that are dictating, numbers that are off for some reason, which brings me to my problem yesterday. Again, with offers, I'm going to go through here. So with offers on my clothing store, in the last 14 hours, I've had 3 offers. In my media store, in the last 12 hours, I've had 3 offers. Yesterday, I had a buyer come in who was sending me offers on several items. It's a repeat buyer. It looks like when I checked their feedback, the last feedbacks they've had were all from me. So they come in and buy like 3 items from me, send an offer, buy 3, and then pay, and then come back and buy 3 more and pay. But so they were sending offers on 3 items yesterday. I accepted 1, no problems. Accepted 2, no problems. Tried to accept the 3rd one, and it said, this account has been suspended. It's not a registered user anymore. I'm like, what? Come on now. That's when I looked at the feedback and saw that it was mostly mine, as of late anyway. And I'm like, what? So I checked my feedback, make sure why it wasn't my account. Went back, tried again, and then accepted it. So that has happened before in the past as part of this offer problem, but it hasn't happened in quite a while. So that was the first time I've seen that in a while. I want to say 6 to 8 months ago it happened a few times, because I remember talking about it and or somebody talking about it. So that was the problem with the offers yesterday. I did end and sell similar a lot on my media store yesterday, and only had one problem where stuff wouldn't load, but other than that, everything went through fine. I haven't really touched the clothing store too much. I need to do some end and sell similar, but again, this store I'm kind of afraid of right now. And I did notice after I got done ending and selling similar, I want to say probably about 4,000 or 5,000 items, my numbers are closer together now. So before, I was missing about 1,000 items that were showing in my store. The difference between showing in my store and what shows in my account, my active listings, it was about 1,000 difference. Right now, after the in and sell similar, it was almost spot on. So right now it is, it's the opposite. Let me refresh. How in the hell is it the opposite? So prior, the way it's always been is the number within Seller Hub is the actual number of items listed. And then what's showing in your store has been less. So something was off, like maybe it's not showing all your items. Right now, the items showing in my Seller Hub, 52,219, right? 219. But showing in my store, 52,227. So it's showing 8 more items in my store than my Seller Hub is. It's never been backwards. That don't make sense. Why would items not being show up in my Seller Hub, but show up in the store? That literally doesn't make any sense. Then I remembered when last time I was trying to end and sell similar, when I would refresh my Seller Hub at 200 items so I could end 200, it would only show like 132 or 75. It wouldn't show a full 200 items. No matter how many times I refreshed, it was always just a different number. That used to happen a long time ago also when there was problems with the website. But I never seen, that I can remember, never seen the store number higher than the Seller Hub number. I've never seen that before. That is very weird. Huh. Yeah, that one's an odd one. So something's not loading in the Seller Hub for some reason, and I can only equate, is that the word? Equate that to the fact that when I was trying to refresh, it wouldn't bring up a full 200, where it is now. Oh, and before I do go, I am, right now I'm using a updated version of List Easier that hasn't released yet. So if you're using List Easier, you're going to like this next update because it's much quicker. So when you're generating your listings on List Easier, it was pretty fast. If you got a fast connection, I'm guessing. I don't know, does connection have anything to do with that? I'm not sure. For me, it was always pretty fast. Now it's just like boom, 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 done. I mean, it's super quick. So I'm testing it to make sure there's no errors, being that it's quicker and pulling the listings in faster and generating the listings faster. that there's not really any errors. So it's like at a 97% right now for me. And the more I do, and that was just the wrong ones were just on the very first one I did. So since then, I've had no errors and no issues and no problems. So I'm going to do a bunch of different stuff today to test it a little bit more. And I'm not sure when they're going to roll that out. Maybe they did this morning. I'm not sure. I don't think I've been told when that's rolling out, but it's super quick now. Super quick. Before it was quick. Now it's super quick. So, and there are going to be more updates coming. There's a lot more updates coming that are probably going to make a lot more people want to sign up for it. Let me reread this and see, make sure I read it properly, because items, and the item specifics are better. I never paid too close attention to item specifics because they were always spot on. But I personally have not noticed the difference between them, but it's supposed to have improved the item specifics also. And yes, the next step that is going to be coming, that is being worked on right now, it's something that I talked about right out of the gate, even before all these other ones started, all the other AIs started. And when I said it, Dave goes, this is how big of an undertaking it is. Dave goes, I'm deleting you, joking around. So the next one coming is going to be, especially for everything sellers, it's going to be boom. It's going to be beautiful. I can't wait for that one. I'm excited about that one. And I'm excited to give my feedback on it too, also to make it better. So I'm excited about that one, because that's the one I'll probably use the most. And I don't want to go too much into it, but it's going to be like a totally different listing service, if you will. And it's going to be, I'm going to feel like I'm running two different style of listing businesses, if you will. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm going to love it. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to love it. But anyway. All right. That's all. That's all for me. So a lot of good things coming with List Easier. Sales are still rolling in. So 2 $900+ days to start off the week. Today I'm at 9 a.m. My media store is at 123. My clothing store is at 0. Ouch. Yeah, this clothing store is just killing me. Is it because, and see, I always question myself first. And I always say, is it because I moved it down to 9%? But it can't be just that. There's always more underlying things. Don't make me spank me with this. Ow, stop just saying it's one thing. Don't ask. I'm just goofing off. All right. This is the stuff that makes me want to switch stuff back to my store. 0%. And I did have big blocks of nothing yesterday. Like this store sat at, I think it was 156, like most of the day yesterday. And it was at 211 to end the day. Alrighty. What do these people think they are? All right. That's it. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you all in the next video. Later.